Good to see everybody.
Hi, everybody. You guys are excited. And so am I. Thank you so much for being here, Andy Graham. It's wonderful to be sitting
Thank you.
this close to you. Actually, I think they could have brought the chairs a little closer.
Yeah, we're a bit away here.
The last 5 or 6 years have been an absolute whirlwind for you. You essentially went from being a street performer to a charting success story, a streaming success story, a radio success. I want you to give us a word that you think sums up, one word that sums up the last 5 or 6 years for you, without using whirlwind, because that was my word.
One word. Joy, probably. Yeah, just been so, I just love it. It's so fun, you know. It's been really, really fun.
Is it kind of like pinch yourself thing? Are
Yeah,
you getting used to this?
It's really amazing. Well, like my favorite thing to do is create stuff that everybody, you kind of feel like a community when you're throwing a show. And so to have that just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger has been really fun.
Well, let's focus on Fresh Eyes.
Sure.
Your latest song, it's huge. It's certified gold, more than 140 streams on Spotify.
So crazy.
Fantastic. And this is a beautiful song. It's
Just
about
140.
Just 140.
Got
It's
it.
probably gone up
140
since then.
I don't want 140 million. You just
140
said 140
million. Did I say 140? Well,
it's the most I've ever had. I'm so excited. But 140 is cool too.
I'm
There's nothing
so
wrong
sorry.
with that. Nothing wrong with that.
more than 140 million streams. God, I'm so sorry. This song
I look like an asshole now. I'm sorry.
No, you don't. It's better to look like an asshole than an idiot.
Yeah.
This song's adorable. It's about looking at your wife in a new way and falling in love with her all over again. But you did something really interesting with the music video. You essentially took Los Angeles homeless people and gave them makeovers. And if anyone hasn't seen it, I encourage you to check it out. It's really heartwarming to see these homeless people see themselves with fresh eyes. Did you see what I just did there?
Yeah.
What prompted this idea?
I kind of had a long history with the homeless, especially in LA, starting as a street performer. Just kind of being around the homeless a lot when I was starting out. So yeah, when we kind of were trying to figure out what to do for this video, it seemed like a really sweet thing to go down to Skid Row and kind of try to rediscover some love with some homeless that we just don't take into account very often. And man, what an incredible day, incredible experience it was.
I imagine that getting involved in something like that awakens something in you. Do you feel an urge to do more things for social causes?
Yeah, you know, I was just, one of my good friends, Justin Baldoni, he's Raphael from Jane the Virgin, and me and him have been really good friends for a long time. And we were roommates, and we both would do stuff on our birthday to help the homeless. Mm-hmm. And actually on Saturday, I just got to be at his homeless carnival. I was like Snapchatting and Instagramming about it. And it's a huge thing now. So it's like in the same place that I did the Fresh Eyes video, he threw this homeless carnival, and I think there were 1,700 volunteers, and so much occurred down there that was great. And yeah, I just love, the more that you're around it, when the need is that high and you're able to do some sort of a service, you feel amazing. What do you know? Like, that's how it works. So yeah, I want to be there as much as possible.
Let's go back to you as the street performer.
Yeah.
This is something that you did for about 5 years,
Yep.
correct? And you would sometimes be out there on the street playing your guitar and singing for, what, 10 or 11 hours?
Yeah, I mean, not usually you have to wait a little bit to play. So usually you get there and wait for the next spot to open up. Every 2 hours you have to move. So, but yeah, the full day would be probably 10 hours.
And what is the most useful thing you learned from that experience?
You know, it's a lot about, I think, well, in music, it's definitely that you have to be okay with long periods of time people not understanding you.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to do any sort of art, you got to be cool in the periods where it's like, no one gets me right now. I'm alone on the street and nothing is happening. But I inside have an understanding of myself that, like, I got some songs that people should hear, and I'm pretty sure that everything inside me is screaming, this is what I'm supposed to do. But for 7 hours today, no one's gonna get it. And then around 7 hours and 30 minutes, for some weird reason, everybody gets it at the same time, and there's a crowd of 50 people, and now we're having a party. And I'm like, totally, I'm in my purpose. This is right. And people are singing along, and now there's money in my case. And then they all leave again, and you're back to just like singing on the street. And I think that in even in radio or on Spotify or anything like that, that still happens where you have a moment where everybody gets it, and they're like, oh, that guy's cool, and then they forget super quick, and then you gotta then there's long periods of like self-doubt and rediscovery. But when you get used to those periods, then it just kind of is the rhythm that you flow in. So I learned that pretty early out on the street.
So it probably toughened you up a fair bit.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's just so much time where you're striving and working where no one cares. And to learn that that's okay, and that's like just a part of it. So if anybody else who's online or in here is having something like that in your life, where you're like, I'm not sure this is working, then it's probably working. Yeah.
I think things are working now, because did I mention that Fresh Eyes has streamed more than 140 million times on Spotify?
I'm pretty sure there's no way for this to go to finish and me not look a little bit like a douchebag. Did you say million? Okay, sorry.
Where are you with your next album? How's it going?
It's awesome. Oh man, I'm really proud of where I am. I would say I'm probably fourth quarter. I like to think of it in quarters. So I just write a ton, and usually I write about 100 songs before each album. And so I'm coming in around like 80 at this point.
Oh my gosh,
and,
that's a lot.
And I have a lot of stuff that I think is some of my best songs. But I just want to make sure that I give everything a full chance.
How do you cut it down from 80? That seems like a lot of songs.
I know. It's just like a lot of times what I like to do is write about things that are kind of important to me or that I feel mean something. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times when you try to do that, it comes across heavy-handed, and I don't like that. So I find that I have to write a ton to get something out of me that I still believe in and it is true, that doesn't come across heavy-handed. And so for me, the only way that I know is to just write so many to get to a place where like, oh, that feels right, or that feels cool, or that actually is true to me, you know.
Your song, Honey, I'm Good, was one of the biggest feel-good songs of, maybe the biggest feel-good song of 2015. And it's all about...
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about streams for that song. I'll get it wrong. This is a lovely song about marriage and how easy it might be to, be tempted by others, but, ultimately realizing that you're happy at home and you don't need to act on those urges, which is very sweet. I'd like to focus on your marriage for a second, but not in the context of temptation or cheating, so relax, but more in the context of you and your wife having this shared interest of music. Your wife is a beautiful young woman called Asia. She's a singer. She has a stunning voice. She's sung backup for Selena Gomez. She's recorded her own songs. Nearly fell off the chair. Given how competitive the music business is, you know how competitive it is. Does it ever feel competitive between the two of you? You both ultimately are striving for the same goal. You're there.
Yeah.
Does it ever get intense and competitive?
In the beginning, I think when we were first coming together, it can you just got to kind of work it out. But anyone who's on their own artistic journey, to get competitive about it is so, it's like small fry stuff, because what you're really trying to do is be in your purpose and do like what you're here on the planet to do. And those two things, so if I'm in my purpose and she's in her purpose, those don't really conflict. Mm-hmm. But it is tough sometimes. More just about like sharing songwriting and knowing when that's okay to share and when it's not okay to share. Because a lot of times I'm really excited about a song or she's really excited about a song, and it's a really terrible thing to show someone a song and them not like it. That will fully ruin date night. So you got to be really careful about
it ruins
hey, I got
all
this
my
new
date
song. Can I
nights.
play it for you? From either side, and we're both like, oh, can we do that in a very a specific time? And then we get very specific about do you want just a husband, I love everything you do thing right now? Right. Or do you want radio ears that are terribly difficult on it? Or what do you want? And so we get really clear about what the other person wants, and then we go from there.
I have a feeling I know who's going to help pare down from the 80 songs.
Yeah, exactly. No, I play her a lot of the stuff, totally.
Being a performer professionally is tough, especially when you're a touring performer.
Yeah.
How are you finding How are you finding balance? Is that a struggle now?
Yeah, I mean, what's funny though is that balance goes both ways. So I've been home a lot writing, and I love being home, and it's really sweet. But I also like need to perform. Like that fills me up. A lot of people they'll ask me questions like, "Ooh, that must be really hard being gone that much," you know, like a little bit of condescension in there. And for me, it's like, you got to come to one of my shows, because that's where like so much of my joy and my happiness in life occurs. Like people that have listened to my stuff or just love the same type of music that I do, and they come to a show with like a lyric tattooed on their arm, and it means so much. And then I'm at a show and I get filled up so much. So when someone who doesn't know goes like, it must be really hard, but I'm like, you have no idea what's occurring out there. So I'm actually right now, I've been home quite a bit, and I'm getting like a little bit itchy. So yeah, but you need balance both ways. You need balance to make sure that when you've been gone too long that you come home, and then you also need balance to get back out.
Yeah. You're obviously kicking butt. I'm wondering, what would you say is one of the most encouraging aspects of the music business right now?
I think the most encouraging aspect is that it's pretty fair. I think it's probably the most fair that it's ever been. Like if you have the goods, if you have a song that people really love, I believe that song will be huge. So yeah, like name recognition, I think means less than it ever has. Because there's so many different ways to tell right off the bat. You put out a song and it's like, you have Shazam, you have Spotify, you can tell the radio has like incredible research that's all like digitized. And you can tell like people are digging it or they're not digging it. So I don't care who you are, whether you're like Madonna or you're like a person who's completely new, like it's like even. It's just who's making ears light up, that's it. That's inspiring.
Right. Well, who's lighting up your ears at the moment? Who's an artist or a song that you like listening to at the moment?
Yeah. I got a lot. They're wide-ranging. That new Beyonce album rocked me. I've got a friend, his name's Ben Rector. His last album was so good. He's got a song called The Men That Drive Me Places, which is my favorite song of the last year. And then there's a guy, John Bellion, who I'm like a huge fan of. So yeah, that's some good stuff.
Can I ask you this? This may sound like an idiotic question. Before I ask this question, Fresh Eyes, 140 million.
Stop. You stop it. Stop.
But it's something to celebrate. I'm sure it's gone up to 141
oh my
1
God.
million since we were sitting here.
I am just the worst. Okay.
Do people ever tell you that you look a little bit like Chris Isaak?
Oh yeah, I get that all the time.
Do you get it all the time?
Yeah.
Are you happy about that? Because he's a pretty cool dude.
He seems like a pretty cool dude. Yeah, I'm into that. And I've never met him yet. I got to meet this guy, and we got to take like a twinning photo. Yeah.
Who wore it best? Is there anything that all these people here are your fans? You know, they're here because they want to be here.
So
they're
sweet.
Not,
Thank you so much. It means the world to me.
They're not being paid to be here. These are not people expecting you on the street to perform, and these aren't people walking past you who might possibly ignore you while you're street performing, which sounds like a devastating experience.
Yeah.
When you're faced with these lovely, hopeful, adoring people, what do you want to say to them? Here's a chance. Just say something nice to your fans.
I would say thank you so much, because it's like, I think that it's been happening forever, right? You have the artist, the musician, and then you have the people that love it. Like it goes back throughout all history, and it's like a sweet bond that I take so seriously. And so I spend a lot of time when I'm writing music to make sure that hopefully I'm giving something to you that when you're in your car makes you feel more than just like bouncing your head, but you feel a little bit. I don't know, that someone else is going through it with you. So if you do feel that, then I love you, and the fact that you're here means the world to me. Thank you so much for coming.
Well, I think that's a nice... I think that's a great opportunity to have you guys ask Andy a couple of questions. Yeah.
Okay, question number one. My boyfriend and I were in the same muster station on the train cruise last year with you, and we are now husband and wife. And my question for you is, I heard you were going to be on another music cruise coming up, but you have a very special reason why you are not going to be on the cruise.
Oh, no, yeah, we couldn't make it. I can't talk about it, but thank you so much.
But we are sending our love, and what do you think, what are your favorite artists from the cruise that you were supposed to be in there. It's called
Oh, that
the
has
Rock,
Ben
called the
Rector
Rock.
on it, and it's got Parachute, which are my good friends that I first toured with as well. Both those acts I love. They're amazing, yeah.
Awesome. Continued success.
Thank you.
Hi.
What's up?
How are you?
So good. What's your name?
Selena.
Selena.
So I first fell in love with you when you hit your first song, Honey, I'm Good.
I mean, I had to hug you then. That's amazing. I just fell in love with you. Wait, when did you fall in love with me?
When your first song, Honey, I'm Good.
Okay.
Throughout all the stuff you've been through, what inspired you to keep on going up? Like, whenever everything went down, what inspired you to, like, keep it up and keep strong? Because I love that about you.
Oh, thank you so much. So I am a believer that like, I don't know how to say this without sounding weird, but I'm a huge believer in staying positive, and that's like kind of magic. It's like legit magic, and I also have this kind of belief that tests are thrown at you for reasons, and if with that way of thinking, always you're kind of always training yourself to look for the good in every bad situation, and whether that's true or not, it's just a great way to live, you know. So I try to find, like, you know, I had a situation where we played at the Grove a couple years ago, and they a photographer cut the power out in Los Angeles. There's like thousands of people at this like big outdoor mall, and as I've started to play my first song, the power gets cut off. But when you're like in the mindset of like, okay, cool, so what does that mean for me right now? Like, how do I turn? So I stood up on a chair and sang "Keep Your Head Up" a cappella, and it became the coolest part of the whole show. And so that was like just another reason to be like, oh, okay, cool. And throughout my career, as things get kind of gnarly, you just kind of have to look at it like, okay, so how do I stand on the chair right now? Well, how's this gonna work? Yeah.
And you're beautiful.
Oh my God, I love you so much. Thank you.
Hi.
What's up? What's your name?
Yari Kuyai.
Oh, nice to meet you.
I was wondering what inspires you to create music that like helps others throughout life.
Yeah, I like to think of a great song is like a scientific proof, like I got to come up with another analogy because I use this one all the time. But Isaac Newton wrote out what gravity was. He like wrote it out as a proof, and then everybody else we all came together as a society around it, like, oh, totally, gravity's happening to me as well all the time. And I think that a really good, truly great song in some form does that. So that's inspiring, and that's what I'm always looking for, is like trying to write the next proof about what we're all going through. Yeah.
And we have time for one more question. Here we
Hi.
go.
Hey, what's up?
Andy, my name's Megan. I've been a fan since 2011.
Oh my God, I love you.
Your music is such a gift,
Thank
and
you.
I'm only asking this question because I gave you a gift, and I'm wondering if it's your favorite gift that you've ever received from a fan. So what is your favorite gift you've received from a fan?
My favorite gift. Okay, there's been a lot. I'm a huge sweet tooth, like almost it's to the point where it's a problem. So fans used to always bring me sweets, and it's like so hard to have like a billion Twix in your green room every day and not just get huge. So I switched it to socks. I kind of like socks, but I started posting socks on Instagram, and now everybody brings me socks, and it's the coolest because my sock drawer at my house is the biggest drawer that I have. And every morning I wake up and put on a pair of socks that a fan from a different part of the country, part of the world has given me. And I just wear it around all the time. It's really fun.
That's not it. I made you the ornaments at
Yeah, the
Paramount.
ornaments were
Those were
awesome.
mine.
Those were amazing
I have a
as
picture
well.
of it, and I was like, I have to ask this question. So
Yes,
don't
the
worry
ornaments
about
were
it. I
clearly
asked
my
those.
favorite. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I want to see these ornaments. Thank you, guys. Really great questions. And thank you so much, Andy.
Thank you.
I have to say, I've interviewed many musicians in my many, many years, and you're the real deal. And
Thank you.
You deserve all this wonderful success that's come your way.
Thank each one of you for coming. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. So cool.
Looking forward to the new album, and
Yes.
also looking forward to you performing a couple of songs for us
Totally.
right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you, Andy.